So you please take the one problem based on the Raoult's law. Take down a problem based on Raoult's law. At 298 Kelvin, at 298 Kelvin, vapor pressure of chloroform, we have a problem. Vapor pressure of a chloroform, you know the molecular formula is CHCl3. 200 millimeters, and vapor pressure of dichloromethane. Dichloromethane, say H2Cl2, is for 15 millimeters. Now, calculate the vapor pressure of the solution prepared by, say, calculate vapor pressure of the solution. Vapor pressure of the solution by mixing 25.5 gram of chloroform. Solution by mixing 25.5 gram of chloroform and 40 gram of CH2Cl2 and 40 gram of CH2Cl2 at 298 Kelvin. 298 Kelvin. That is first part of the question. Second, find out the mole fraction of the components in the vapor phase. Find out the mole fraction. The mole fraction of the components in the vapor phase. In the vapor phase. So these are two parts of the question. So we are given at 298 Kelvin, vapor pressure of chloroform 200 millimeters. Vapor pressure of a dichloromethane for 15 millimeters. That is vapor pressure of pure chloroform, 200 millimeters. Vapor pressure of a pure dichloromethane for 15 millimeters. Now, we are asked to find out the total vapor pressure of the solution by mixing 25.5 gram of chloroform and 40 gram of dichloromethane at 298 Kelvin. Then we have to find out the mole fraction of the components in the vapor phase also. How to solve the problem? We have to find out the total vapor pressure, the vapor pressure of the solution. Calculate the vapor pressure of the solution. The total vapor pressure, as we know, P total is equal to P1 plus P2. Sum of the partial pressures, sum of the partial pressures, that is equal to total vapor pressure. So you come to the first part of the question. P total is equal to P1, say let it be chloroform. So partial weight per pressure of CHCl3 plus partial weight per pressure of okay, now can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes still there is the problem. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Today we have the full of the network problem. Every 10 minutes there is the break. So let us go back to the problem. So P total is equal to, clear? Can you hear me? All
Yes.
right.
Yes,
So
sir.
P total is equal to partial pressure of a chloroform plus partial pressure of a CH2Cl2. So our next duty is to find out the partial pressure of chloroform and partial pressure of pressure due to dichloromethyl. So find out the PCHCl3 and PCH2Cl2. Let us find it out. PCHCl3 is equal to, what is the relation? P1 is equal to x1 into P10, P10 into x1. Forgotten? P1 is equal to P10 into x1. So instead of a P1, we have PCHCl3. Then P10, that is pressure due to pure chloroform. Pressure due to pure component 1. Component 1 is chloroform. Pressure due to pure chloroform 200 into, find out x1. We have to find out x1. How will you find out x1? To find that x1, we have to get the number of moles. For how to get the number of moles? Mass by molar mass. Mass by molar mass. So let us find out the number of moles of chloroform as well as number of moles of dichloromethane. Okay, let us find out. So number of moles of chloroform, that is N, number of moles of chloroform, N of CHCl3, number of moles of chloroform is equal to, number of moles of chloroform is equal to, I will get number of moles, mass in gram by molar mass. What is the mass of chloroform given? 25.5. 25.5, that is mass of a chloroform by molar mass. You find out molar mass CHCl3. Carbon is equal to 12 into 1. Hydrogen is equal to 1 into 1. Chlorine is equal to 35.5 into 3. You find out the value. And we can see that the mass of molar mass of chloroform is equal to 119.5. You add all this, 119.5 U. That is a molar mass of a chloroform. So 25.5 by 119.5. That is equal to, that is a very difficult task. If such problems are given, It's very difficult to solve. Okay, so the number of moles is equal to 0.213, 0.213. Without simplifying, we cannot proceed. We cannot proceed. 25.5 by molar mass of chloroform 119.5 U. So 25.5 by 119.5 is equal to 0.213. That is number of moles of chloroform. Find out the number of moles of CH2Cl2. N of CH2Cl2. Number of moles of dichloromethane. How to get the number of moles? Mass in gram by molar mass. Mass in gram, that is equal to 40 by molar mass of CH2Cl2. Carbon is equal to 12 into 1. Hydrogen is equal to 1 into 2. Chlorine is equal to 35.5 into 2. You add all this, then you will get molecular mass of dichloromethane is equal to 85 U. That is equal to 85 U. That is the molar mass of CH2Cl2. If somebody is there in the examination hall to dictate all these values, it is easy. Otherwise, it is very difficult. It's all right, don't worry. So 40 by 85, and that's equal to 40 by 85, 0.47. That is number of moles of dichloromethane. From this, we can find out number of moles of this one, number of moles of mole fraction of mole fraction of chloroform. So X of CHCl3 mole fraction of chloroform is equal to number of moles of chloroform, that is 0.213 by total number of moles, that is 0.213 plus 0.47, and this is equal to total number of moles, that is equal to what is total number of moles? 0.683. So here CH2Cl2 is calculated. Okay, so the value of CHCl2, that's equal to 0.312. 0.312. 0.3.
Sir, sir, I can't hear you.
Sir, we can't hear you.
Oh, yes, you are trying for that. Now can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
No? Can. You can. Still there is a problem always. Okay. So let us continue. So mole fraction of CH2Cl2 is equal to 1 minus, x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. So x2 is equal to 1 minus x1. 1 minus 0.312, and this is equal to 0.688. 688. And that is mole fraction of chloroform. sorry, dichloromethane, 0.688. That is a mole fraction of dichloromethane. From this, we can find out partial pressure of CHCl3 and partial pressure of CH2Cl2. So you find out the partial pressure of CHCl3 is equal to P10. So here it is 200. Pressure due to chloroform 200 into its mole fraction 0.312, and this is equal to partial pressure of chloroform is equal to P of chloroform is equal to 200 into 0.312 is equal to, can you simplify? Not that easy, that I know. 62.4. 62.4 millimeters. This is a partial pressure of chloroform. Now you find out the partial pressure of CH2Cl2. That is equal to pressure due to pure dichloromethane. That is 415 into mole fraction of dichloromethane, 0.688. 0.688. And on simplification, you try it, go to check it. After the class, you check it. And the value is 285.5. 285.5 millimeters of mercury. So we have got partial pressure of chloroform and a partial pressure of dichloromethane. Now you add these two. That will give you the total pressure. Can you follow this? To get the total pressure, we have to get the partial pressures. To get the partial pressures, we need the mole fractions. To get the mole fractions, we need the masses and the molecular masses. The problem is so lengthy. That's the problem here. It's too lengthy. So first you find out number of moles of each component in the solution. So a number of moles of chloroform in the solution, 25.5 by its molecular mass, 119.5. That's equal to 0.213. Number of moles of a dichloromethane in the solution is equal to its mass, 40, by its molecular mass, 85. That's equal to 0.47. Now we can find out the mole fraction of chloroform as well as dichloromethane. So X of chloroform CHCl3 is equal to number of moles of chloroform by total number of moles. 0.213 by total, 0.213 plus 0.47. And the value is 0.312. Now we can find out the mole fraction of CH2Cl2. And that is simple. X of CH2Cl2 is equal to 1 minus mole fraction of chloroform, that is 0.312. And it is equal to 0.688. So we have got the mole fractions of chloroform and dichloromethane in the solution. Mole fractions. So far we have got only the mole fractions. If we get the mole fractions, from that we can find out the partial pressures. So partial pressure of chloroform is equal to the vapor pressure of chloroform 200 into, P1 is equal to P10 into X1. P2 is equal to P20 into X2. Same thing. So partial pressure of chloroform is equal to vapor pressure of a chloroform 200 into its mole fraction 0.312 and it's equal to 62.4 millimeters. Similarly, you find out partial pressure of a dichloromethane P of a CH2Cl2 is equal to vapor pressure of a CH2Cl2 for 15 into its mole fraction 0.688 and that's equal to 285.5 millimeters. So we have got the partial pressure chloroform and the partial pressure of a dichloromethane. Now you add these two values. That is P1 plus P2. That will give us the total pressure. Therefore, next step you write. Therefore, P total is equal to, what is it? P total is equal to P CHCl3. P total is equal to P of CHCl3 plus partial pressure of CH2Cl2. So you add total pressure PT is equal to partial pressure of chloroform is equal to 62.4 millimeters. 62.4 plus partial pressure of dichloromethane 285.5. 285.5. You add, just add this. What's the value you get? You add these two values. That will give us the total pressure. And that's equal to, do you get any value?
347.
For 347.9. 347.9 millimeters. That is the total pressure. Now we got the total pressure. That is the first part of the question. So first part is, what is? Calculate the vapor pressure of a solution. 25.5 gram chloroform, 40 gram of CH2Cl2. So total vapor pressure that is equal to partial vapor pressure chloroform plus partial vapor pressure of a dichloromethane 62.4 plus 285.5 and that's equal to 347.9 millimeters. So first part is over. Now you come to the second part of the question. What will be the mole fraction of a chloroform and dichloromethane in the vapor? Mole fraction of the components in the vapor. You know, Y1 and Y2. Y1 and Y2 are the mole fractions in the vapor. Suppose if it is so, we know this relation. Say P1 is equal to Y1 into P total. You know, a relation like this. P1 is equal to Y1 into P total. So in a similar way, instead of 1, you take chloroform. So we can write partial pressure of a chloroform PCHCl3 is equal to Y1, that is mole fraction of chloroform in the vapor state. Mole fraction of chloroform in the vapor state into not plus, into P total is 347.9. From this we can find out the mole fraction of a chloroform in the vapor state. Therefore, Y1, that is a mole fraction of a chloroform in the vapor state, is equal to PCHCl3 by 347.9 is equal to partial pressure of a chloroform 62.4 by 347.9. 347.9. Simplification is not that easy. So the uh, mole fraction of chloroform 62.4 by 347.9 is equal to 0.18. That is mole fraction of chloroform in the vapor stage. Vapor stage. Therefore, Y2, Y2 in the vapor state is equal to 1 minus 0.18. That is equal to, on simplifying the value will be 0. That is equal to in the vapor state dichloromethane 0.82. 0.82, that's the mole fraction. So if you want, you can write, instead of 1, you can write chloroform. Say this is chloroform, CHCl3. And the second one is CH2Cl2. CH2Cl2. So we have calculated the mole fractions in the vapor state also. Now, let us have a generalization from these values. Which component is the major proportion in the vapor state? Look at the mole fractions in the vapor state. In the vapor state, CH2Cl2. CH2Cl2. That is in the major proportion. Is it not? CH2Cl2 is the major proportion. And what is special with CH2Cl2 in comparison with CHCl3? You look at the vapor pressures of dichloromethane and chloroform. Dichloromethane and chloroform. You know, dichloromethane, the vapor pressure of a dichloromethane 415, it has a higher partial vapor pressure. It has a higher partial vapor pressure than chloroform. If vapor pressure is higher, it is more volatile. It is more volatile. So we can have a generalization here. The more volatile component will be the major component in the vapor state. The more volatile means the component with higher vapor pressure. More volatile means the component with a higher vapor pressure. That will be in the major proportion. So here we can have a generalization, and you write it as, say, note. You write note, note, note. The more volatile, the more volatile component, the more volatile component, that means the component with a higher vapor pressure. In brackets, you write higher vapor pressure. Higher vapor pressure. That is more volatile. Its vapor will be there in major proportion. So more volatile component, that is the component having higher vapor pressure is the major component in the vapor state. Major component in the vapor state. Vapor state. So that may be asked for the examination. You will be given two liquids and their vapor pressures also. Vapor pressures also. And you will be asked, which is more volatile? More volatile means the liquid with a higher vapor pressure. That is more volatile. And that will be the major proportion. That will be the major component in the vapor stage. In the vapor stage. So from the vapor pressure, partial vapor pressure, sorry, from the vapor pressure, we can decide which component is more volatile and which component will be the major portion in the vapor stage, in the vapor stage. So this is the generalization. You keep it in a box and please don't nail it. You have to open it occasionally to see it. Okay. So more volatile component, that means higher vapor pressure component is the major component in the vapor stage. Okay. That is the analyzation. And based on this, we can draw the graphs also. Before drawing the graphs, let us see the correlation between the two laws we have studied in this chapter so far. One is Henry's law and the other is Revolt's law. What is common or what is the relation between Henry's law and Revolt's law? After that, we can draw the graphs. We have already seen the graphs. We have got the lines, linear graphs we have got. That we can draw afterwards. Now let us see the relation between Henry's law and Revolt's law. So you write the side heading, relation between Henry's law and Revolt's law. Write the side heading. Relation between Henry's law, Henry's law, Henry's law and Revolt's law. Revolts, Revolt's law. Relation between Henry's law and Revolt's law. Let us take Henry's law first. You know the relation, the equation, Henry's law equation. What is the equation? The partial vapor pressure P is equal to Henry's law constant KH into mole fraction of the gas. Gas means it's a very extremely volatile component. That is the meaning. If something is existing in the form of a gas, it is more volatile. That's the only difference. It is having lower boiling point. It is having higher vapor pressure. It is more volatile. That's the only difference. So from Henry's law, partial vapor pressure of a gas P. Gas means extremely volatile component. P is equal to KH into X. And this is from Henry's law. This is from Henry's law. Now you come to Revolt's law. According to Revolt's law, the partial vapor pressure is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure component P0 into mole fraction of the component X. If it is not clear, you take the components 1 and 2. Say P1 is equal to P10 into P2, so into P10 into X1. See? P1 is equal to P10 into X1. Similarly, P2 is equal to P20 into X2. Or in general, we can say P is equal to partial vapor pressure of the component, volatile component is equal to pressure due to the pure component into mole fraction of the component. And this is from Revolt's law. That is from Raoult's law. Uh, Simply, a change is made like this. Instead of 1, we take the general form P is equal to P0 into X, where P is the partial vapor pressure of the volatile component. P0 is pressure due to the volatile component, and X is the mole fraction of the volatile component. Now, what is the relation between these two? See, we can say that Raoult's law is coming second. Henry's law is coming first. So we can say Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law. Raoult's law, so Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law. Special case of Henry's law. Henry's law. Special case of Henry's law. When and what is the special case? When the Henry's law constant Kh is equal to P0. P0. That is the relation. Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law. When the Henry's constant Kh is equal to vapor pressure of the pure volatile component. So it's a special case. Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law. If you are writing P1, it's all right. No, nothing to worry about that. Or you can write P2. That's also say agreeable. P2 is equal to P20 into X2. The only thing is this. For P1 or P2, these are the partial vapor pressures of the volatile components. Volatile components. In the Henry's law, P, partial pressure of the gas. Gas means the most volatile component. That's the only difference. So we can say Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law, where Kh is equal to P0 or P10 or P20, whatever it is. So the Henry's law constant is equal to partial vapor pressure. Vapor pressure of the volatile component. Well, the Henry's law constant is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure volatile component. And that is the relation between these two. Kh is equal to P0. And this is enough for today. Tomorrow we can see the various types of the graphs, as well as say ideal solution, non-ideal solution, etc. We can see the next day. So we are saying Henry's law, Raoult's law, the equations. P is equal to Kh into X, Henry's law. For P1 is equal to P10 into X1, or P2 is equal to P20 into X2, Raoult's law. And Raoult's law is a special case of Henry's law, in which the Henry's law constant Kh, that is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure volatile component. Maybe 1 or 2, okay, it is equal to 2, it's all right. If you take the volatile component, the solute, if it is solute, you can write 2. That is left to you. That's your discretion. You have to mention whether it is solute or solvent, that's all. So we can have a generalization as P is equal to P0 into X. Maybe P1 or a P2. Maybe X1 or a X2. Maybe P10 or a P20. That is left to you. Doesn't matter. So that's a relation between these two. Next we can say the ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions and the different types of graphs. Okay. Meet again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.